So welcome everybody to Webinar Wednesday from Sight and Sound Technology. My name is Stuart Lawler, and as always, my colleague Carl Braley is with me. We're delighted to be back for the 19th of May. And this week we're doing something very special and maybe very different to what we have ever done before. We're delighted to be joined today by our guest speaker, who's Melanie Leamy. And Melanie practices Reiki, and she is expert in meditation, and she's going to talk to us about her work and what she does. And then we're actually going to experience some meditation and relaxation. And I suppose what's prompted this session, when I was speaking to Melanie last week, is we were just talking about how much everything has changed for us all in the last 14 months or so, and how different our world is now, and that we all need to allow time for ourselves just to reflect, I suppose, and to reconnect as we come hopefully out of the last lockdown that we're going to have in what has been a really challenging time. So that's the topic for today's session. We, as always, welcome your interaction, and you can do that on Zoom today by pressing Alt and H if you wish to chat. And if you do want to send any messages, that we will keep an eye on those. And as Carl always mentions, if you are sending messages, please make sure you send them to all panelists and attendees so that everybody gets to see the conversation. You can also raise your hand if you want by pressing Alt and Y. And Carl will be keeping an eye on the raised hands. And later in the session, we will get to your questions. If you'd like to ask any questions, you can raise your hand and we can make sure you get time to speak. And if you're on a mobile platform, there are buttons on screen to ask to chat and raise your hand. Before we introduce Melanie Leamy, tomorrow is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. It's the 10th Global Accessibility Awareness Day, and Sight and Sound Technology have a coffee morning tomorrow morning at 10:30. We invite you to join us. Come and have, we can't bring the coffee, but we can bring you some great panelists who are going to talk all about how technology has worked for them in their life. And we have people from varying walks of life tomorrow joining us for a coffee for about 45 minutes at 10:30. If you don't have the details and you need to know, you can either drop a message in the chat or send an email to sales@sightandsound.co.uk, and we'll make sure you get those links. Now, I'm delighted to be joined, as we said, by Melanie Leamy. I had the pleasure of meeting Melanie a number of years ago when I was in a previous life. And Melanie has been working as a Reiki practitioner and meditation practitioner. And Melanie will tell us all about that as well, and runs her own services and her business, which has been, I suppose, running online since the start of the pandemic last year. So Melanie, first of all, welcome to Sight and Sound's Webinar Wednesday. Great to have you.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you for having me.
Listen, you've been doing this, I know, for quite a while, and we'll maybe talk about that in a sec, but people may gauge from your accent that you're living and working here, but you're not from Ireland, isn't that correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm from Germany originally.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about, you started your business, you were telling us before the start of the session, you started your business in 2012, and the business was initially called Reiki.
Dublin Reiki.
Sorry, yes. And then you in 2018, it changed, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so maybe I'll start by saying that in 2000, from 2000 to 2005, when I was still living in Germany, I did all my training. So I trained as a Reiki practitioner and as a Reiki teacher and as a mindfulness meditation instructor, and also as an aroma touch therapist with doTERRA essential oils. I've always loved essential oils, and I came across this technique and I knew I needed to learn that as well as everything else. And then I moved to Dublin in 2010. And yes, I opened my practice, Dublin Reiki, there in 2012 and ran a quite successful therapy business for about 8 years. And in 2018, my husband died from cancer. And that was something obviously very sad and tragic and life-changing, and it made me go into a phase, I suppose, of reconsidering everything I had done so far. And I decided that I wanted to change my business. And the first thing I did was that I decided I wanted to stop calling it Dublin Reiki, because I was doing a lot more than Reiki, and wanted to give it a different and more generic name. And I came up with the name Healing Well. So that is how the name change came about.
What sort of services do you provide, and maybe how have those services changed when they've been provided online? Because I imagine with something like Reiki, my only one experience of Reiki was that when somebody is beside you, obviously administering Reiki, their hands are just directly over your body, you're feeling the heat. How does that kind of thing translate online?
Well, I suppose the first thing I'd like to say about this is that when the pandemic hit, I was actually in a situation where I was sure that I was going to move my services more online anyway, because, see, after the death of my husband, I was thinking that what I would really like to do was to work in 3 areas in particular, which was people who are going through grief and bereavement following the loss of a loved one, people who are in the position or role of carer for a loved one with a terminal illness, and people who are approaching the end of their lives. And I kind of knew that I wanted to offer online programs and online courses so that people could either do something in self-study at home, or that they would be able to download a particular program and then have a support call with me every so often. And so I was in that mindset anyway when the pandemic hit. And so I decided to really make use of the circumstances and develop my programs. Well, the first thing I did was I wrote a book which is called When to Love Means to Let Go. That book is available on Amazon and is Audible as well, on Audible. And it tells the story of my husband and me meeting and falling in love, and then my becoming the carer for him, and then his death, and what I've learned from grief and bereavement over the past 3 years. And then I decided to offer mindfulness meditation workshops online. That is fairly simple. I can do that on WhatsApp or Zoom. They don't have to be face-to-face. And with the Reiki, it is actually interesting how that works. You know, I wasn't sure when the pandemic hit whether I would be able to offer Reiki when it is not in person, but it actually is, because once the Reiki practitioner and the Reiki students set their intention for the Reiki energy to flow, then, and they get on a Zoom call or on a WhatsApp call, and they talk about what the client might want from that session, you know, what the desired outcome is, then it is actually possible to have a session online where the Reiki practitioner sends energy to the client. And because both people have their intentions set on the outcome of healing, it is actually working. It's quite remarkable and a really interesting experience for me as well, you know. And yeah, I have developed programs as well. For one program is called Living with Loss. That has gone live on my website a couple of weeks ago. It's a 6 months support program for people going through grief and bereavement. And I have also one other program going live by the end of this week, which is called 28 Days of Gratitude, where I teach gratitude and appreciation to people. And there are more programs to come. So I'm really enjoying the online work, I have to say, with Zoom and all the technology involved as well.
It's amazing how so many things have gone online, isn't it? And how things that we might have thought previously, oh, you could never do that online, people have found ways to do it online really, really well and open it up to even more people. I'm just curious as well, because some of the meditation, I'm sure, and those kind of the idea of gratitude, just think for things for things that you're grateful for, things that you have in your life that you're grateful for. Nowadays, when so many of us are working from home, when maybe work-life balance is a little more challenging, are people coming to you to just have that to find that space where they can maybe try to get away from all that for a little while?
Yes, they do. Yeah, and I would definitely see that more now in the time of pandemic, because as you say, home is also your workplace now in many cases, and so people find it hard to switch off. People find it hard to find time for self-care, and I suppose that is for many people a problem anyway, to find the right time for self-care and to make enough space for that in a busy day and in our busy life style that most of us have. But now it is even more the case with the pandemic, and especially during lockdown, people felt quite isolated. And so many of them would come to me and say, I'm just looking for a way to relax and to switch off my busy mind, which is, which really can't distinguish work and personal life anymore. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But also people, going through the grief of all the things that they have lost through the pandemic, things that, as you said in your introduction, things that they weren't able to do anymore, that had before been part of their normal life, like going out, meeting friends, going to their workplace, socializing there. So people seem to have gone through a lot of heartbreak over these past 14 months. And I've definitely seen a change in my practice where that is concerned. People are coming in with a lot more sadness and depression, and just to find a way to heal from all of that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's all the things, isn't it, that we would have taken for granted before. You'd say to people, I'll just go and meet you for coffee. You head into your local town centre or city centre or coffee shop, wherever that might be, or just go and meet up with family and friends, the things that we haven't been able to do. And I suppose online has been great, but sometimes it's the face-to-face that people are craving. So I can completely understand what you're saying, Melanie. Well, look, I think that's been great, just by way of kind of setting the context and getting to know a little bit about you, and I suppose the amazing journey that you've had since you came to Ireland, and we might talk about that on a future podcast. But I'm going to hand over to Melanie now to run a couple of meditation sessions. I really hope this will be beneficial for all of us. I'm certainly going to. I'm going to do this. I'm really interested and looking forward to just having a little bit of time to reflect. And I'm also going to act as Melanie's timekeeper so that we do a couple of these and then we can go to your questions. So I hope everybody enjoys this. And Melanie, I'll now hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I thought what we might do is a couple of taster sessions, different types of meditations, but they all have to do with this theme of today's webinar, which is reflections and reconnections. And I think we have done a little bit in the way of reflection already by saying these past 14 months have been really a challenging time for all of us. And there are different things we can do in our own personal lives to help us move through this time with a bit more ease and a bit more balance and a bit more trust, really, that everything will be all right again, or maybe is even all right as it is right now, even though it is not what we would like to be here. We wouldn't like to be in lockdown. We wouldn't like to be isolating. We wouldn't like to wear face masks and all the rest. But this is what it is right now. And if we can surrender to this, knowing that it is what it is, and as such, it is actually okay, and we can live with it and we can grow from it, then I think we can really make this a time of great importance in our lives. And so I just would like everybody to try and think of these past 14 months just for a moment. And this is not an actual meditation right now, but it's a start of, and it's the beginning of a reflection that will then lead us into meditations. So just sense how COVID has changed your life, and how even with everything that has been going on, you have a lot to be grateful for. Even if it is something like a beautiful bird song in the morning when you wake up, or a beautiful phone call with a friend whom you haven't spoken to in a long time. Or, you know, for me, just sitting here right now, it is being able to talk to you and help you to find a bit more relaxation and inner peace right here and right now. And there are so many things. When we start to look at the little things, we really realize that there is a lot to be grateful for. And I would like all of you to open up to this sense of gratitude if you can. And we are going to do a couple of meditations here, as I said before. The first one that I would like to do to really get us into a very relaxed state is a body scan meditation. Now, some of you may have already done this, but I'll explain it for all of you again, and especially for those of you who haven't done this before. So a body scan meditation is a guided meditation where we focus on different parts of our body. And we bring our awareness there. We don't actually move the parts of our body at all, but we bring our awareness to them in order to just feel what they feel like right this moment. So this is not to find out where it is painful and then to do something about it, or something in the way of, you know, sorting it out or fixing. It is really just for finding our way back into the body when we have been living in our minds for the last while. And so let us do that meditation first, and then we are going to develop a loving kindness meditation from there, where we have the opportunity to send loving kindness to ourselves and to a person close to us who we know is in need, is in some difficulty, is having a hard time. And this practice is a meditation where we will use affirmations in order to get the loving kindness feeling into our own hearts and send it to the person in need. So let us begin with the body scan meditation for now. Just a second. Technology is acting up a little bit today. I was saying that before. Here we are. Okay, so I'll switch on a little bit of relaxation music in the background, and I would like you to sit in a comfortable position, either on a chair or, like I'm doing it myself, cross-legged on the floor. And you can have your hands on your thighs or folded in your lap. And the most important part of this posture is that you are sitting upright, so that your neck and your back are in one straight line. And for those sighted among us, I would ask you to close your eyes or to keep your gaze down somewhere in front of you so that you don't focus on anything. And now become aware of your breathing, first of all, the way you are breathing as you're sitting here. No need to change your breath in any way. Just breathe in and out and follow your breathing with your awareness. Just as a way of coming into this present moment. And let thoughts be like clouds in the summer sky, coming into your mind, hanging around for a little bit, and then leaving your mind again. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out, nothing to concentrate on. Just being. And I would like you to bring your awareness now to your feet. Just feel both of your feet at the same time. It's almost like you're feeling them from the inside out. Are they warm or pleasantly cool or neutral? Tingly perhaps? Just notice what is there right this moment. And then move your awareness into your legs, the lower part of your legs, your knees, back, sides, and front. And your thighs, front, sides, and back. And get a sense of the volume of your legs, the length and the volume of your legs. What do your legs feel like? And whatever you notice, it's fine. It is as it is meant to be right this moment. Know this as we're moving into your pelvic region. The lower part of your body. Feel your hips, the base of your spine. And the lower part of your belly. Get a sense of what that area of your body feels like. Feel yourself sitting here. Rooted to this spot for now. And safe exactly where you are. And we're moving up to the area around your navel area and the area of your stomach, your waist, the middle part of your back, which is, spoken from an energy worker's point of view, a very interesting region of the body because it is your center, your core. Feel what that area feels like in your body right now. Is it warm, tingly, a little tense perhaps? Simply noticing. As we are moving up into the chest area now, the area of the heart, both emotionally, energetically, but also physically, of course. Your rib cage and the upper part of your back. Sometimes this area, especially the area of the heart, can be tight when we are going through upsetting emotions or feel low in ourselves. Feel what this area is like, and if you like, you can take one deep breath in into that area, and then on the out breath, letting go and opening up. Let's now move into your shoulders and down your arms, all the way down your upper arms, the elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Maybe you feel some tingling in your hands. Maybe they are warm, maybe a bit cool. Let's get a sense of your hands. And move back up into your wrists, through your arms, all the way up to your shoulders again. And we are now moving into the head. And let's feel your face first. Sense what your face feels like this moment. Can you sense the air brushing your skin? Can you sense your cheekbones? Your lips, either together or slightly apart. The area around your eyes. Your forehead. The sides of your head. The back of your head. And finally, the top of your head. And just before we leave this particular meditation exercise, I would like all of you to just think for a moment or imagine that you, as you're sitting here, are connected to the life force energy, to the energy that sustains you from above, so to speak, and below. So from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, and from the soles of your feet to the top of your head, you are life force energy. This is what we are, and we are provided from above and below with the energy that we need. Now, I would like you all to introduce some small movements into your body, maybe wriggling your fingers or toes, or moving your head from side to side, or taking a few full breaths, whatever you need to do. Maybe stretching would be good. I think I'm going to have a little stretch, and then just come back into the room, back here, into our webinar. Sorry. So I hope that you have all enjoyed this practice. This is something that you can do at home on your own as well, whenever you feel that there's some tension or something in your body that doesn't really feel right, where you feel that, you know, if that particular thing was relaxed, then you could actually fall asleep with more ease, or you know, you want to get rid of some particular pain, maybe a back pain or a headache. Especially for tension headaches, this practice is actually very good. And what you can do is you can either download a guided body scan meditation from the internet. There are lots of guided meditations available on YouTube, but you can also do it on your own, and just do what we've done here, which is go through your body, through the different parts of your body with your awareness, and rest in each part for a moment. Sense what this part feels like. And it's almost like you're saying hello to this part of your body, and remind yourself that you have a body. You are a body, actually. And I think most of you will feel right this moment that they are much more in their body and much more relaxed. The second practice, which I would like to do now, is the practice of loving kindness. And this, as I was saying before, is a practice that we can use for ourselves when we want to send love and healing to ourselves and into our own hearts. But we can also do it for a loved one or many loved ones, or we can send loving kindness to the whole world if we wish. There is actually a practice that I teach where you start with yourself and you widen the circle first to loved ones, and then to people who are not close to you but who might live in the same house, and then you move to the people in your town and county and country and so on, until you embrace the whole world with your loving kindness. But because we are on taster sessions here, and because this would actually take a long time, I just want us to go into a meditation where we send loving kindness to ourselves and then to somebody we know who is in need of a bit of love and care. And I want to find what I need for that. Which I will do. All right. Okay, so let's start this practice. The way it is going to work is that I'll guide you into a short breathing exercise, and then we will concentrate on certain phrases first for yourself, and then we'll repeat the phrases for your loved one. And I will just give you the words then, and you can say the name of the person and make a sentence with those words. I hope I've explained that sufficiently. We'll just go into it, and I'll explain it as we go. That might be the best thing. So please come into your meditation posture again, as I call it. So we are still sitting on comfortable chairs, or maybe on a couch, whatever you prefer, or maybe cross-legged on the floor. And please keep your back and your neck in one straight line. Make yourself really sit up tall, because this also, apart from being healthy for your back and your neck, also helps you to keep your heart area wide open, which is what you want to do for this practice, because this is a heart practice. This is all about sending love. For those of you who are sighted, please close your eyes, or at least keep your gaze down. And your hands, which have probably been again on your thighs or in your lap, I would actually ask you to bring them up to your heart center. So hold them in front of your heart center together, like in prayer position, so that all fingers are touching each other, which is a gesture that, especially in Asian culture, is one that you would have when you're blessing each other or space. That's why it is called the prayer position as well. So please repeat the following sentences after me, having yourself in mind. Really do this for yourself. I am happy. I am well. I am safe and free from harm. I am peaceful. I am exactly where I am meant to be. I am happy. I am well. I am safe and free from harm. I am peaceful. I am exactly where I am meant to be. For those of you who want to increase the feeling that they are sending love to themselves, you can also put your right hand flat on your heart center and send the warmth from your own hand and your own energy into your body. So let's do it one more time for yourself. I am happy. I am well. I am safe and free from harm. I am peaceful. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Okay, great. So now for those of you who had their hand on their heart, bring them again into the prayer position. And now think of a person who you feel really needs your love right now. And I suppose we could all think of many people. We all need love, don't we? But pick one person now that you feel would benefit the most from your loving care right now. And I'm going to say the words as a reminder for you as you send them your blessing. So for example, when I say happy, you would make of it, may you be happy. But we'll do it once like that. So think of your person and repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe and free from harm. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe and free from harm. May you be peaceful. Happy. Well. Safe and free from harm. Peaceful. Okay, so please lower your hands back down into your lap or on your thighs. And like before, wriggle your fingers, toes, move your head from side to side. Roll your shoulders, stretch, do whatever you need to do to come back. And maybe take one full breath, and with your out breath, let go of this practice and bring yourself back to the webinar. I hope you've all enjoyed this practice. It can sometimes be quite emotional, but this practice is so important for us in terms of self-care, which is what we touched on at the very start of this webinar, that we do need love and care, and we do need time to appreciate ourselves and to be grateful for who we are and what we are. And especially now as we are moving out of lockdown and into a new normal, it is very important, I think, for all of us to ask ourselves how we can shine our light, as I like to call it, most brightly in the world and be part of our community. But when we are doing that, we also want to make sure that we take good care of ourselves and don't forget ourselves in the process. So this practice is one that you can do again on your own at home. There are also guided meditations available if you prefer to practice with a guided meditation. But again, it's something that you can do for yourself, just maybe when you're going to bed at night, you know, you can put your hand on your heart and just say, yes, I'm safe and free from harm, and I'm well, and I'm in the right place right here and right now. And then when you see that somebody else is in need and you want to take good care of them, you can do it for them as well. Okay, so if we have time for one more practice, then what I would like us to do is a short gratitude meditation. And we mentioned gratitude here before, and I would like all of you to make gratitude a daily practice for yourselves, because it is really amazing. I mean, amazing shifts can happen in our life when we invite gratitude practice into our lives. And what I would like you to do in the next couple of minutes is to think of 3 things that you're grateful for right this moment. And it can be anything. It can be that you got home before the heavy shower started today, or it can be that you're able to be here on this webinar and that the technology is working and that you have a safe space to do this in. Or it can be that we are moving out of lockdown and that you will soon be able to see friends again and family. You know, it can be the small things or the difficult things, the harder things. But find 3 things now to be grateful for. And I would like you to say with each thing, with your right hand on your heart center, again, like some of you might have done before during the loving kindness practice, put your hand on your heart and begin each sentence by saying, I am truly grateful for, and then say what it is you're grateful for, because of, and you mention the reason. And then you end by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for, and you repeat again what it is you're grateful for. So just to give you an example, I could say, I am truly grateful for being on Webinar Wednesday today, because it is lovely to connect with all you wonderful people and to teach you a little bit about meditation. It's really wonderful to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being on Webinar Wednesday today. So I will switch on the relaxation music again and give you a couple of minutes to do this. Just 3 things. If you think of more, that's fine, but 3 things it should be at least. And really try to become aware of your heart center as you're saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really let it come from the bottom of your heart. Just give a little bit more time in case some people are still doing it. Okay, when you're ready, then please lower your hand again. Take a deep breath. And I'm getting a sense of the group energy, and it feels like everybody is really sharing the space of, it's almost like a blessing that we have done. That's why I wanted to keep this as the final practice to do, because it's one that really brings us all together in aspiration and in kind of a prayer, even though I don't really like to use the word prayer, but I don't mean that in a religious way. It's just prayer as in, we do our body scan to bring us into the present moment. Then we do our loving kindness practice to give self-care and care for a loved one. And then we end with gratitude and really bring ourselves into a place where we can see, yes, there are things to be grateful for. And wow, it feels great. It feels really great to be with you. So this practice, the gratitude practice, you can do that in many different ways. What I usually suggest to people is to make it a regular thing to have a morning practice where you list between 5 and 10 things to be grateful for. And you would do that either right after getting up or between getting up and doing the first really important thing of your day. So it could be with your cup of coffee over breakfast as well. But do it as early as possible in the day. That would be my advice. And do it in the same format. So say, I'm truly grateful for, and say what it is and because of what, and then thank you, thank you, thank you for whatever it is. And then in the evening before going to bed, I would make it a rule to have something that you appreciate, an object that you really appreciate, like a special stone or crystal, or maybe a necklace that somebody gave you once that means a lot to you, whatever it is, a meaningful object. Put that beside your bed on your bedside locker. And each evening before going into bed, you pick that up, and while holding it in your hand and feeling the preciousness of the object, you think back through your day and reflect on the things that you are grateful for from the day. And again, it could be little things, it could be big things, doesn't matter what they are. Just go through them in your mind, make yourself feel the gratitude for it all, and then pick the one thing you're most grateful for from the day. And do the same thing with that one thing as you did in the morning. So say, I'm truly grateful for that this and that happened today because, and then you say, thank you, thank you, thank you for it. That you will feel will really change your experience of the days, because you will actually pay more attention to what is good. And you will get more of a sense of that even when things are not going so well or not going to plan, that it is actually okay, because even in the difficult situations, even in the crisis situations, even when there is at first glance nothing to be grateful for, there always is something. And all it takes is for us to look and find it. Okay, those are the meditations I wanted to introduce you to. I'm wondering, do we have any questions?
Melanie, that was wonderful. First of all, thank you very much. I think the gratitude thing is so important, and I suppose in the midst of all the things people have gone through this year, it's really important to think about all the great things we still have in our lives, and just to bring them into focus. So thank you for bringing us through some really powerful sessions this afternoon. Just remind people, if you want to raise your hand, you can do so by pressing Alt and Y on your computer, or activating the raise hand button on your mobile device or tablet. And if you want to chat, you can do that by pressing Alt and H, or activate the chat button. It's a really good time if anybody wants to raise their hand and ask a question, or ask anything to Melanie, or I suppose comment on any aspect of this afternoon's session. So I think we will check in with Carl to see if we've anybody waiting.
I'm that relaxed. I'm ready for a nap now. I'm not actually joking. I think after this, I'm going to take my lunch break and go for a sleep in the car.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh,
yeah. I feel like that too, I have to say. And I must say, having the music in the background was really good too.
Oh, it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
I
That's
need
good.
it.
Yeah, it's very good. Great.
Delighted to hear.
So,
we haven't got any questions. I think everyone's gone to sleep. I think they're all so relaxed they can't lift their hands now.
Melanie, you're after silencing our webinar Wednesday audience. We're very impressed.
Oh, we've got some hands now. The moment I say that, they all come up. Right, we're going to go to Nicola. Nicola, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
We've got
Hi,
you.
Nicola.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Not a lot calmer than I was at the start. Although that was
good. That's good.
Now, I have a quick question for Melanie. Do you not find that you're faced with all these people who have so many problems and everything, and do you find that your own life starts to feel weighed down by everybody else's problems? And if it does, what do you do to sort of feel better yourself?
Well, hi, Nicola, first of all, and thank you. That's a great question. I suppose I would have done that at the start. When I went into practice shortly after having done my training, that was still back in Germany in 2007, I would have sometimes felt that. But over time, I have learned not to take anything on from other people beyond the session that I'm doing with them. So if I did a session with you, let's say, you could share whatever you like with me, and I would be very much in your energy field, and I would want to be and need to be in order to do my healing work with you, or for us to do our healing work together. But then after the session, I would disconnect from you. And I do that actually using some of the energy work tools I have learned, which have to do with Reiki, but they also, I would use essential oils as well to cleanse the air and to refresh myself. Lemon is very good for that. And also clove oil is really good because it helps to keep your own boundaries up, you know, even when you are in situations where they could be breached, just not because the person's breaching them intentionally, but just because, you know, you get so involved with them that you find it hard to distinguish your own energy from theirs. So no, I don't generally find that I am taking on other people's energy, but it has been a journey, of course, and I think it comes with experience. And it is something that when you have a monthly supervision, it would help as well, you know, because you could bring up important, like serious matters where you feel you can't disconnect easily. But I haven't done that in a long time. No, I feel it's a very organic process.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you for asking that. That's a beautiful question.
Thank you, Nicola.
Okay, brilliant. Sorry, I'm still too relaxed. I'm not paying attention. Now we, excuse me, we've got Liz Franklin. Liz.
Hi, Liz. You might just have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Liz. We have you. How are you?
Fortunately, the computer told me how to unmute because I suddenly thought, oh, I haven't got a clue how to do that. My question to Melanie is, well, I do a lot of meditation. I'm quite into this kind of thing, and I do have my first level Reiki attunement. But a lot of meditation involves visualization and sort of conjuring up pictures in your mind, which I find difficult living in a world where I can't see anything. And I wondered what Melanie had to say about that. What do you think is the best approach for somebody who's got no sight?
Thank you, Liz. Great question. And hello, first of all.
Hello.
Well, I think it is a very interesting question and a difficult one to answer, because I suppose it is really a very individual thing. For me, for example, I have tried to get around this by using sound. So sometimes, you know, when they say, especially when you go to seminars or retreats and they say, oh, now we visualize, you know, the 100,000 armed Buddha or whatever, you know, that is so hard to do. And, you know, I can't actually do that because I have never seen the Buddha, you know, an image of the Buddha in the first place. So what I would do is imagine a sound that I would find really relaxing, and that would, for me, you know, bring me a feeling of peace and relaxation, and the quality that the sighted people would be supposed to get from visualizing the Buddha. But another thing that I do, and I don't know if that's only me doing that, but what works for me as well is to visualize the things as I would feel them. So let's say if I handed you a statue of, you know, the Buddha, or the Buddha of compassion, or, you know, some object that you're supposed to meditate on, you would be able to feel it. And then what I'm doing is I would imagine that same object sort of in front of my inner eye, and I would I would visualize, well, I would feel myself touching the object, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't see it as such, but I know what it is like to feel it, and I bring that sense into my meditation. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much for that.
But you could always use sound as well, you know, and use something that works for you. And if visualizing doesn't work, then use something that gives you what the visualization would give you, if you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Thank you very much. I will try both those techniques. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks for your question. Good to
do I have to now unmute?
Oh,
no,
I'll sort that
we
out.
can mute
Don't worry
you.
about
We can
that.
mute you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Liz.
That's all we have for the moment.
All right. Well,
I think everyone's still very relaxed.
Everyone's very relaxed. We give a last chance if anyone wants to raise their hand, Alt and Y, or you can activate the raise hand button on your mobile device. If not, I'm going to thank Melanie sincerely. It's been a really, really great session. I think we'd have to have you back again, Melanie.
Well, would you just like, if we have a couple of minutes, will I just briefly say where people can find me?
Please do, because I think there will be some people knocking on
your
your
and somebody just asked
virtual door.
On the chat here.
Yeah, and Nanette's just asked, yes. Oh, we have another hand as well.
Okay, well, Mel, do you want to give your contact first, and then we'll go to whoever has raised hand, and we'll make sure we get that question.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good idea. So you can find me. My website is www.healingwell. That's all one word. Healingwell.ie, and my email address is. Yeah, that's it. And my email address is Melanie. So that's spelled MELANIE at healingwell.ie. And I have all the workshops and courses and sorry, I'm just a bit distracted by the chat.
Sorry, that's my fault.
No problem. No, so I have all the workshops and the courses I offer on the website, and also some upcoming workshops. Like I will be running a workshop actually which has more or less the same title as this webinar. It's called Reflections and Reconnections with Meditations and Essential Oils, and that will be on the 28th of this month from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and tickets are available through my website as well, and we will dive more into the topic of meditation and essential oils there. And yeah, basically you can find my book as well on my website. Everything you want to find there is there. I also have a podcast where I post a new episode every fortnight. It's called the Healing Well Podcast, and you can find it on all the normal or regular podcast apps.
Wow, that's brilliant. Thanks for that, Melanie. And I know people will want to get in touch and follow up with you based on the popularity of today's session. Did we have a raised hand, Carl? Did you say?
Yes, we've got Raymond Bruff. Bear with me 1 second. Raymond, if you could unmute yourself, please.
Okay, Melanie, a question regarding mainstream medicine and the likes of Reiki, which I don't know whether this is an insult, but comes under sort of complementary or alternative therapies. What sort of proportion of the people that come to you for help come of their own volition compared to the portion that come to you via their GP or other medical practitioners?
Well, hello, first of all, and I can tell you how delighted I am that you're asking this question, because this is a question so very close to my heart. Unfortunately, Reiki, yes, first of all, Reiki is part of the complementary therapies, and unfortunately, complementary therapies are not yet recommended by mainstream medicine, or at least only by very few general medicine practitioners or consultants. And I think that is actually a shame. I have always believed that the best approach to medicine would be one where conventional medicine and holistic medicine, as it is also called, go hand in hand, which is why I have actually for the past 2 years tried to bring Reiki into hospitals in Ireland, in Dublin in particular. And so, but to go back to your first question, or to your question really, most people who come to me because they have heard something about Reiki, they've heard about energy work, but also because they are really fed up with mainstream medicine telling them that they either can't find what is wrong with them, or that they have to take certain medication to treat a certain, one symptom, but not the whole being. So unfortunately, there are only very few people who come to me and who would be sent by their doctor or their consultant. Last year I had one client who came to me because his oncologist had told him that maybe while he was on chemotherapy, Reiki might be a good way to support his immune system. And before that, I had other people, but not with severe conditions as cancer. But it is rare, unfortunately, and I hope this is going to change. I will certainly do whatever I can to make this change.
So would I be right in coming to concluding that the gap between holistic and mainstream medicine is as wide as it ever was, or at best very narrowed slightly?
Well, yeah, that's what I would say. It narrowed slightly, but not enough for patients to get the holistic care that we all deserve. I think that is something that needs to be worked on, and needs to be worked on. I want to say this as well. I think it needs to be worked on very cautiously, because there are so many different complementary therapies out there, and so many people are introducing new healing modalities all the time into the market. And of course, from medics' point of view, I can understand that they are sometimes a little bit weary, like here's this other new therapy that is supposed to do, whatever. I can totally understand that, but I think we need to come to a point where we can actually talk to each other, and see each other as equals, because yes, a medical person has the medicine and the medications, and we have the energy work and the essential oils and the meditation. And I think, they can only work together, really. So thank you for asking that question. It's brilliant. I love talking about that. As you can see, I'm very passionate about that particular topic.
Well, quite rightly too.
So thanks for that.
Thanks, Raymond. That's it for Nanette's just said thank you. I think essential oils in combination would be great. Other than that, excuse me, I have a frog. It looks like all the questions have been answered.
Okay. Thanks, Carl, and Melanie. Obviously, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love for you to come back, because I think it would be great to do another session like this. I think every so often we all just need a bit of a space, and you've certainly given us that space today. So thank you for your time,
so welcome.
and your expertise. It really was great. We'd love to stay in touch with you.
Absolutely, yes.
So many thanks to Melanie. Thanks to everybody for joining our session today. We're back in 2 weeks' time with the next webinar Wednesday. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe, and remember those gratitude pieces, they're really important. And we'll be back again in early June. And thanks as always to Carl. Melanie, thanks again, and we'll be in touch soon.